Okay, so lovely you're all joining. Let's dive straight in. Interlace the fingers. So the palms are initially pointing towards you. Now turn the palms towards me. And then up overhead and take a stretch. Now, without it being specifically about wrists, elbows, shoulders, this session today should be quite nice for anyone with niggles, any tight tendons in the wrists, forearms, and shoulders. But go nice and easy with it. Now, turn the palms so that they're back facing the top of your head, and then paint the side walls and come into a forward fold. Hook the forearms around the backs of the knees and give yourself a big squeeze. If you can, have a go at clamping your thighs and calf muscles around your forearms and giving them a squeeze. Maybe your heels come slightly off. Remember which forearm is on top, and then come up to standing. Open the arms wide, again interlock the fingers, palms up to the ceiling, have a little bit of a spine extension here, but do think length rather than crunching back. Then we're painting the side walls again, the other forearm on top, around the knees, sink a little bit lower. So we're squeezing the forearms and the calf muscles, pausing for a moment. All right, imprint the feet, rolling up through the spine. Keep the chest and the thighs together as long as possible. And release and roll up through the spine. Lovely. Arms, let's start with your left arm, palm facing up, reach up. And when you get to that blockage point, turn so the palm then faces in and keeps internally rotating all the way to complete a circle behind you. Now pause with the arm back, look in the opposite direction and really lengthen away from those fingers and then continue the circle. Let's do that 3 more times in this direction. Palm facing up, find where the blockage is for all of us, which is what we need there, and then start to internally rotate and reach back. So if you've got niggles in the shoulders, I'd encourage you to support the shoulder. Otherwise, let's keep the rest of the body really still. Nice big movement, that reach back, as if we're holding tension anywhere along the shoulder, elbow, wrist. You kind of almost need to work and tire out the muscles so that then they feel they can relax. So without pushing it, definitely no pain, just feeling nice fluid movement, feeling where the challenge points are and maybe backing off a little bit. And then let's go to the other side, just let that arm hang. So we want to stabilize the rest of the body. We know straight away what we're doing on this side, palm facing upwards. When we come to any bit of restriction, we start to roll palm in, forward and out. And let's just pause in that extended position, diagonally back. Maybe take your gaze in the opposite direction and just experience whatever sensations there are, side of the neck and along the arm. Complete the circle. So a couple more times in this direction. We want to try to isolate the movement to the shoulder joint. So you will be using your core muscles. Really plant the feet. Keep a nice steady breath. Pause at any point if you feel it's kind of interesting, there's sensations going on, you feel you can breathe out a little bit of tension before continuing. I'm going to make your brain work in a minute, so enjoy this movement. So let's just swing the arms with a bend in the knee. So nice heavy arms. Maybe your palms start to follow the movement we've been working on, but don't overthink it. We'll make that movement bigger and bigger, and eventually the hands will meet overhead, and then we're going to carry on those circles. Don't overthink it. One arm is backstroke, the other is forward stroke. So allow the arms to naturally internally rotate, externally rotate, without thinking about it. Just find a nice flowing movement. But make a mental note of which arm is doing the forward stroke. Okay, so for me, if you're mirroring me, it's this right arm, which is coming up, forwards and down. Let's reverse it. If that's completely done your head in and you just can't think, what on earth was I doing? Go back to this swing, make it bigger and bigger until we find the opposite. So now I'm going into a backstroke with this arm. So what we're doing here is obviously we're trying to switch the brain off from what's happening. And you know what, if you get in the other direction, it really doesn't matter. It's just about letting the arms flow. So let's now just shake out the arms. Let them hang, move the head side to side. No stress at all, let it all go. We're going to keep with the arms, but we're going to start using the whole body now. So let's have the big toes together, inner thighs together, glutes together, squeeze everything. And let's first of all make sure we've got a nice form as we squat down. Use the inner thighs. I want to still be able to see the toes. And come up, squeeze the glutes, neutral position for the hip flexors. Okay, now with the arms, lift the arms overhead. We're taking a tricep stretch. Drop your right arm down, hold the elbow, and keep a continuous movement with the legs. Always come to a reset tall position at the top. Squeeze the knees together, make sure you can still see the toes, and we're using the hand to deepen the tricep stretch. Press the head into the forearm, the upper arm. Then breathe deeply. Keep the knees squeezing together. Big squeeze at the top. And let's release the arms. Have a little swing wide. And then we're going to take the other arm up and over. Bend. Deep breath in. Squeeze the knees together and sink low. So long spine, long neck. Very easy here to forget the upper abdominals. Try to draw your front ribs together, tummy bottom back to the spine. Go for a continuous movement, so we're strengthening the leg muscles, but always coming to a nice reset at the top. We're drawing the elbow back enough to get a nice stretch in the top of the arm, the back of the arm. For the next, we're going to come to a parallel squat position. Remember, we can come a little bit lower, but then we're trying to find a release for the deltoids. So separate the feet hip distance apart, shrug out the shoulders and take a rest at any point. So let's first of all check our form. Squeeze the glutes, sit back into the heels, make sure you can still see your toes. Come as low as you feel you can, go with security and coming up to a standing position each time. All right, let's start with right arm. Hook your left elbow underneath. We're slightly drawing the arm out of the socket. Okay, continuous movement, squat, sitting back low, gently tugging the arm forward and draw your shoulder back. Nice continuous movement through the legs. Trying to keep tummy bottom back to the spine, using the end of the exhalation to pull in the corset around the waist. Add any movement into the head. Let's take another 2 dips on this side. See if you can almost find a meditative kind of flow to this. So calming for the nervous system. Anyone who joined yesterday's session, we're all about rocking. Shake out the arms. Other side. Hook the elbow underneath. So you've got a secure hold, shoulders back and down. And let's go. Parallel legs. So we've got those nice train track lines. You can still see the toes. So we're sitting back as if in a low chair. Gently pulling the arm out of the socket. Using your back strength to pull the shoulder back. Breathing deeply, any movement to the head's nice. And as soon as you can, perhaps close the eyes. Otherwise, just look at something that's not moving with a gentle focus of the eyes. So the way we want to switch from that stress position, the sympathetic nervous system, to the parasympathetic nervous system, we want to kind of blur our focus. So not looking at anything in specifically, we're still aware with our peripheral vision of all of our surroundings. So not focusing on one thing. So we've got a nice soft vision. Once more on this side. And then swing out the arms, just let them flop. Last position for the hips. So we have the inner thighs working, nice Pilates parallel lines. Now let's separate the feet. Check your goddess pose. So we've got the knees tracking over the toes. And this time we're doing a nice self-massage. So we're keeping a continuous movement in the knees, but now I want you to get your fingers right into the belly of the muscle on the forearm. Keep the shoulders nicely relaxed. If we keep focusing on the tailbone, pointing down to the floor, we'll keep the spine in a nice neutral position. So knees opening, tracking over the toes, so we don't want to turn out the feet. Keep them in a position where the knees are tracking over. Long spine, so as we come up, as if we've got a golden thread pulling up through the crown of the head, moving down to the wrist, we're still on the same arm. We can grab hold of the wrist, pull the soft tissue down, spreading the fingers, make a fist and make those restricted circles with a fist. Squeezing the glutes to come up, always coming to a really nice position for the hips, both directions with the wrists, and then shake out and we'll move to the other arm. Fingers around the belly of the muscle of the forearm, shoulders back and down, and take a nice deep squat, feeling the imprint of the feet, coming to a nice reset tall position at the top. The lower we go, the more we're tilting the pelvis so that the tailbone's pointing down to the floor. Nice deep breath, and see if you can switch to more like a continuous flow. Working the hands up to the wrists, a strong grip, so the fingers are covering the palm of the hand and the wrist to drag the soft tissue down, make a fist and circle. Nice deep breath in and out of the nose. Fabulous. Keep the legs wide, but turn the toes a little bit further forwards and let's hula hoop the hips. Nice big movement, slow, controlled, no forcing. See if you can feel a stretch on one side, a squeeze on the other side. The inner thighs, the backs of the legs, adding on any fluid movement that feels nice in the upper body, and change direction. So that we're not now loading onto the hands, we're going to take a kind of sun salutations where we're not going to press onto the hands at all, but we'll keep a nice fluid movement in the arms. And again, we'll be looking for a flow, a kind of sense of rocking. When you're ready, come to the front of your space. I'm going to mirror you, so this will be stepping back with the right foot. When you're ready, rolling the shoulders back and down. Squeeze the glutes and breathe in. Open the arms wide, feeling the shoulder blades come together. Look up and then swan diving the arms down. We'll pause in a forward fold. Come to a halfway lift. Guide the fingertips on the floor and draw your chest forward, or fingertips on the calves or the shins rather, lengthen the spine. We're stepping the right foot back to a warrior one. So soften both knees, step the right foot back and lower the heel. Think 45-degree angle. Let me just go through. We'll be on a warrior one, tap down, adjust the back heel forwards, warrior two, tap down. We're going to toggle between warrior one and warrior two. Can we just be aware that warrior one, hip square to the front, 45-degree angle. When we take that back stroking action with the arm, we need to pull the back heel forwards. We have the heel to arch connection. All right, we're ready. So hopefully everyone's square to the front, 45-degree angle, or toes towards the front right corner of your mat. Breathe in and lift. Front knee bends, back leg straight. Breathe out, tap down, adjust the back heel. Back stroke with the right arm forwards up. Deep breath in, feeling the shape. And then cartwheel the hands back down, lift the back heel, adjust. Breathe in, opening the arms. So see if you can find your flow. I'll move continuously so that you can check in and look forwards. But feel free to go at your own pace. Slower the better. But just trust, we're going to be here for a good few rounds. So you've got an opportunity to find your flow, make a meditation of this. Because a nice, easy flow through the body where we've become used to the movement so much that we're not having to think about it so much. It's as though we're switching from, there was one teacher who had a great way of describing this. When we're in our stress state, it's like the military's in charge. We need that high alert reactive state to keep us safe. But then we need to switch to that parasympathetic nervous system and give our military a rest. And we can do that by hacking the system into this rocking sort of movement, continuous movement. And this, just by going into that rest, digest state, we're giving all of the body a rest, and we're going to mend where it's needed. Continue with your last one, and then let's have the fingertips to the floor and step your back foot forward, rolling up through the spine. Lift the arms overhead, hands meet and return. We'll do the same thing, but we'll be stepping back with your left leg. Breathe in, open the arms wide, but soft shoulders, soft elbows, no strain. Breathing out, floating the arms down, forward fold. Your halfway lift, so it's just a lengthening, so a counter to that flexion forward of the spine. Ready to step your left foot back, so we can do this more carefully by softening the knees, engaging the core, and sliding the left foot back. 45 degrees, hips square to the front, tilt the pelvis. So we can breathe into warrior one, arms, and then tap down. Adjust your back heel in. So we have a 90-degree angle, front foot pointing forwards, back foot to the side wall. Take a nice, easy backstroke where we've worked the muscles we need for that backstroking action, and then forward stroke or cartwheel the hands down to adjust the back heel, warrior one. So you know from the first round, we're here long enough that you can find your flow, making any adjustments that you want to make when we feel a nice, gentle flow through the body. You're still working all of the muscles of the body in order to make this a slow, controlled movement. Keep the jaw soft. Now here's a check-in for you. If you feel your tongue is high on the roof of your mouth and pressing into the top teeth, that's a good indicator that we're holding on to a little bit of stress. So see if you can keep going, allow the tongue to sit heavily in the base of the mouth. And quite quickly, that's another one of these hacks where you'll start to accumulate some saliva in the base of your mouth. And I think it was Colin Hall, a wonderful teacher who described this as almost creating a hot tub for the tongue. It just sends the whole body into a nice, comfortable, lessened stress state. It's easier to do that if we're in a still position, but just being aware, at least for now, of where you're holding the tongue and see if we can really soften. So we want to give the shoulders, elbows, wrists the best possible opportunity to relax. Finish the set that you're on, fingertips to the floor, and step your back foot forwards. Take a nice deep breath, opening up, feeling lovely and open. Nice flow up to the ceiling, and then hands to heart center. Lovely. We're going to come down onto our knees. Let's use this for a nice sway, zigzag, roll down through the spine. And then walk the hands forwards, lower the knees, and release the toes. We're going to come to a gate, so extend your right leg out to the side, toes pointing forwards. Now check your back toes are actually pointing to the back wall. They'll generally tend to curl in. So let's see if we can find a nice line there. Reach up through the fingers, nice soft arms, heavy shoulders, and take a gate. So a soft side bend, no stretching excessively, just finding a nice deep breath into these left ribs. And then as you breathe out, flip the hands down. Now, same sort of movement with the heel, come onto the ball of the foot and draw your heel in towards you. So knee and toes now to the side wall. Hands sliding down towards the floor, no weight, and float over into a side bend. Come up, adjust the heel back, take a counter, mini side bend. Continuous movement again, the heel comes in, flowing side to side. So softening the line of the arm can help us coax a little bit of softening in the arm, but also that idea from the beginning of working the muscles of the arms so that then the shoulders, elbows, wrists are actually able to relax. Sometimes when we've got stress in any of these joints, the tendency is to try and get rid of the tension just by stretching. But actually a combination of strengthening, stretching and coming into a gentle flow, rocking flow, where we're calming the whole system is actually more effective. We're coming back to all fours. Lightly place the fingertips on the floor, extend the left leg, toes pointing forwards. Come up through the body, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's start with a gate. And reaching up and over, maybe the arm stays below the level of the shoulder, just breathing into the side of the body. And then breathing out. Let's adjust the heel in, knee and toe out to the side, just across. And slide the elbow on the inside of the leg. Take this kind of modified side angle. Your counter stretch. Only go as low as you feel. Your core can hold you. And again, find your nice rocking flow. If you can, have a go at closing the eyes. So just trusting a continuous movement for 30 minutes, but feeling soft and nurtured will just benefit you on so many levels. Even make this your own level of intensity. Last set, chest wide open. And then we'll return to all fours. Okay, knees back in line. Let's just take a circling of the hips. Try not to place too much stress into the wrists. We can make a fist with the fingers pointing towards each other if that feels a little bit more supported. And in the other direction. We're coming onto our backs. We're going to take bridge lifts with the breath. So continuous movement is strong work through the glutes. But again, we can kind of almost go into a trance and make it a nice calming movement. When you're ready, come on to your backs, hug the knees into the chest, shake out the head side to side, and then place the feet near the bottom where you can feel the ankles. Shoulder blades in close to the spine, chin tucked into the chest, and let's go straight away into thinking about the parallel lines of the thighs, staying parallel. So peel the spine up, breathing in, option to take the arms overhead, and breathing out, continuous movement rolling down through the spine. If you have got niggles in the shoulders, try to really let the shoulders be supported by the floor and not overstretch overhead. So the same idea of strengthening the shoulders without necessarily thinking about stretching all the time, stretching. If we close the eyes, we can think about that articulation through the spine. Obviously, we're strengthening the quadriceps on the fronts of the thighs, and the glutes play a large part in this. You'll start to feel it in your hamstrings. So we've simultaneously working on the mobility of the whole body, all of the joints, whilst lowering the stress levels in the body. So automatically we're lowering inflammation in the body. We're allowing the body more scope to repair, soften. All the focus on the spine is wonderful for spine health. You'll have heard many people say we're as old as our spine. So let's have 2 more rounds of this, and then we're taking the lift up with the legs. And we're going to take the 100. So anyone who's having to leave early, I'll catch you next time for 200. Okay, hug the knees into the chest. When you're ready, holding on the backs of the legs, extend the legs up to the ceiling. So the legs will be straight if that's possible for you today. Otherwise, a slight bend in the knees. Arms parallel to the floor. Now, if you've no niggles in your neck, we'll take a curl up and we're ready. Okay. We're going to pat down, 2, 3, 4, 5, palms up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 50, but for those who are used to me in classes, you'll know that counting isn't my forte. But if we think about the front ribs knitting together, tummy bottom back to the spine, keep your jaw nice and soft, shoulders down away from the ears, and keep a nice steady breath in and out of the nose. If you start to experience any niggles in your neck, leave your head down. With the legs in this lifted position, we're really focusing on those abdominals, but we're also strengthening the upper back. Now, any niggles still in this position, I don't want anyone to experience any pain. So just make the adjustments, maybe a more gentle movement with the arms, or nice and vigorous, we must be on our last 10 or 20. So let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knees into the chest. Have a little rock on the spine. Open the arms into that wide capital T long line and sway the knees side to side. Add on a little sway in the head, same direction as the knees. Breathe in as the knees and the nose come central to the ceiling. Breathe out to the side. Breathe in, close your eyes for this last little bit of a spine twist. Try to feel heaviness through the whole body. Soft jaw, heavy tongue, and feel the head is fully supported. I'm rolling down my mat. You. Not to worry. Nice continuous movement, and now we're going to rest on one side. Knees to the floor. Head fully supported, and feel that yummy stretch across the other shoulder. Here, make any adjustments that will make you feel slightly more comfortable. It may mean lowering the arm or taking the arms into a bent position. Gently rocking is always permitted. Sometimes actually rocking can help us find a stillness inside. Allow yourself one more breath on this side, and then using the out breath, using the hands, arms if you wish, knees up to the center, and gently over to the other side, taking the head with it. Arms feeling that softness, heaviness. Try not to have a fixed idea of what this is going to look like. The knees may fall apart. The ankles may not be perfectly stacked. Make those tiny adjustments where you can actually give in to the floor. Just for this last breath or so, see if you can dream up a heightened, a more intense gravitational pull through the body. And just enjoy this. Give yourself at least 2 more breaths here. And now to come up, no jerky movements, as I just did. Roll onto one side and slowly push yourself up to sitting. And if you can just give yourself a moment, sitting cross-legged with your eyes closed, hands resting on the knees, and just seeing how the body feels. And hopefully you feel yummy.